Hello, everyone. Welcome to Let's Go Up,
where we explore the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven.
I'm Dean.
And I'm Karitas.
Karitas, today we're going to talk about tending our garden.
Awesome.
So good.
Yeah, let's go there.
We're going there.
And we're back.
We're back.
Talking about the garden. Yes.
One of my favorite things.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to get pretty exciting in just a few minutes.
Yeah.
But first, we got to tell people about our website.
Super cool website, letsgoup.us.
Because we're in this
together. Wow, that was special.
That was called twinning.
Twinning.
Yes. Karitas, our website, it's got all kinds of interesting things on it. You can find links to our social media. You could find links to Karitas' latest blog.
Ooh.
Because I just rated your Instagram feed.
And all of our previous episodes on Let's Go Up podcast.
That's right.
We've been going for a couple of years now, so you can point and click and select at random.
That's right.
Your free will.
And for those of you joining us on Grace Awakening Network, welcome.
Welcome.
We're so happy to be here.
Yeah. New platform, new people.
That's right. New friends.
Friends, yeah.
Yeah. And we're looking forward to spending time with you every week, Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time.
Yeah. And whatever that transfers to Pacific time, you do the math, maybe?
That's right. That's where we are. Basically, we just have to get up a lot earlier to see Let's Go Up.
But they do have watch/listen on demand.
That's
so,
right.
Yeah.
And for those of you who join us on YouTube or any other podcast platform, welcome.
Yeah.
All right, Karitas, gardening.
Mm-hmm.
So last week we left off talking about the fact that we have a garden in our heart, and today we need to find out how to find it and maybe talk a little bit about how to take care of it.
Yeah.
Because in Proverbs chapter 4, it says, "Keep your heart with all diligence, for out of it flow the springs of life."
Yes.
Rivers of living water. So in the original garden, there were 4 rivers. The very first river, it talks about gold and abundance and precious stones. We love our jewels here on Let's Go Up. Those of you that don't know, I'm a little bit of a rock person.
You ever see Dean aimlessly wandering around the forest? He wasn't lost. He's rock hunting.
That's
clearly.
right. So one time I had an encounter in heaven and I saw an entire mountain range that was full of gems. So there was a mountain of jade. There was a mountain of sapphire. There was a mountain of ruby. And they were digging these great big massive, I'm talking huge, like Great Pyramid of Giza, huge, big rocks out of these quarries and using them for foundation stones and stuff.
Oh, wow.
In the garden, there were jewels and there were gemstones and there was gold and living water you could drink from freely. How do we find our garden, Karitas?
Yeah. Well, first of all, even realizing it's there.
True.
Realizing it's available and we all have one.
Yes.
And we don't need to live off someone else's. There's a garden for us all.
Okay, that's almost a mic drop, but that's way too soon.
We like to time it, space it out a bit. It's almost as bad as doing a sound effect too soon. We do sound effects here, in case you didn't know.
That's right.
Do you want to give a few examples?
Shall we introduce them?
Okay, so we love the word mysterion, which is
yeah.
There you go. You will hear that every time we say mysterion. Mysterion is just Greek for mystery, right?
That's right, because we're all about the mysteries here. We explore the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven because we're explorers.
Yeah, mysterion was used in the New Testament more than...
Almost 30 times.
Yeah, 30 times.
I tell you a mystery, you will not all sleep, but you will all be changed.
Yeah, wow.
And on it goes.
Moving on,
all right?
Where were we? Something about gardens. We have one. Don't have to live off other people's gardens.
So let's talk about that.
Yeah, okay. I think it's easy to think, well, some people have the Holy Spirit. Some people don't get the Holy Spirit. Maybe pastors walk more like this. Maybe it's more available for them. And then we start living off of their garden.
Ooh.
But if they're not tending their inner garden and then something horrible comes out and they kind of fall off the rails and start walking away from God, often people who are living vicariously through their garden also fall. Because when you talk to a lot of people who don't call themselves believers, many in my experience have said, well, I used to believe in God, but then my pastor did this, or my neighbors were Christians and they did this, and they start talking about other people.
That's true.
I've never in my life heard anybody tell me that they left because of some experience with God. It's always been about people,
right?
Which shows we've been living off of other people's gardens. If we have our own garden, well tended and healthy and nourishing and growing, if our neighbor or our pastor or our friend's garden withers up, ours is still full. So instead of being broken because of their brokenness, we can now bring the wholeness and fruitfulness of the garden within us into their barrenness.
It's just like when you're in a garden and when you're doing gardening, how the seeds get on you, right?
Yes. Yeah, little like speckly seeds on your body. You leave the garden and the seeds kind of drop around. That's what some of them are designed to do. They have little hooks in them attached to animal fur.
They're sneaky.
They're sneaky.
Sneaky seeds.
Sneaky seeds. Because we will purposely plant seeds sometimes, just planting a seed in this person's life. But then there's a lot of times where these sneaky seeds are falling off of us because we've been digging up in our garden and tending our garden. And we don't even know that we've dropped a seed into someone's life just by the way we've been living our life. Right. We don't know that someone's smelling the aroma coming off of us. Have you ever been in the grocery store and you smell someone's perfume and they're not even in the aisle anymore?
Ooh, okay.
It's not good. But in the kingdom, it's good. This is the aroma of Jesus we leave everywhere we go, right? So when we have this garden, come on, you don't even know the effects that it has on the world.
Right. So that's why it's so important to find our garden, spend time in our garden, spend time with our Creator in our garden, spend time eating from the tree of life, spend time face to face with our Creator.
Just nom-nomming the tree of life.
Are you gumming?
Nom-nomming.
You're nom-nomming the tree, the fruit, okay?
All day, every day.
All right. Our garden is a precious part of our heart, a place that we can actually live from.
Yeah.
We need to live from there.
We do. Jesus said a few times, what is it to you what so-and-so is doing? You follow me. We have our own garden that we get to tend with the Lord. And mind blank. There was an end to that sentence.
But then I just started thinking about Jesus and
that happens more than you know. It's good. Garden time with Jesus is good. Always exciting. And the thing about tending our garden with him is it doesn't matter what anyone else's look like because gardens grow and they develop and they change. So it's never, but look at so-and-so's garden. It's just this excitement and anticipation of the growth and life in yours and the potential. Because after all, a true gardener is a futurist.
That's true.
Right.
An explorer.
Yeah.
Karitas, I remember the first few times that I discovered that I had a garden in my heart. It became such a amazing, real thing to me. I started with kind of mentally relocating myself there.
That sounds familiar.
There's a verse that I want you to read. It's sounds like from the Mirror. I love the way that he translates this. We're just going to go there, okay?
Okay. The Mirror.
Yeah.
That's an interesting translation. Colossians 3. You are in fact raised together with Christ. Now ponder with persuasion the consequence of your co-inclusion in him. Relocate yourselves mentally.
Bam. That's another sound effect here. And let's go up.
Bam.
Bam.
Engage your thoughts with throne room realities where you are co-seated with Christ in the executive authority of God's right hand.
Yeah. I started by learning how to focus in meditation, let the eyes of my heart be opened. Eventually, it became a place of reality to me that I could go anytime I wanted to. But at first, I kind of had to open the door bit by bit and poke my way inside. And
yeah, you're a cautious, careful dean.
I wasn't cautious, careful. I didn't know what I was doing.
Can I go through this gate?
Yeah. Opening the eyes of our heart to the reality of the unseen, the spirit world, which is just really a place where the frequencies are different than the ones in our world that we can see.
Right.
Light is a spectrum of frequency that we can see.
Yeah.
And then there are spectrums above that and below that that our eyes can't pick up on as humans, but the eyes of our heart can pick up on them because the eyes of our heart are held in the world of the spirit. And so I've just learned to open the eyes of my heart and
become affectionately acquainted with throne room thoughts.
That's right. Yeah.
That will keep you from being distracted again by the earthly realm.
Yeah, exactly. It's found in the place where Jesus said, the kingdom of heaven is within you. So Karitas, we've got a few scriptures to talk about today. We're going to go to the Song of Songs today.
Nice.
We're going there.
We're going there.
We're going to start in Song of Psalms 1, verse 6. Do not look at me because I am dark, because the sun has tanned me. My mother's sons were angry with me. They made me the keeper of their vineyards, but my own vineyard I have not kept. So here's a person who has come in contact with the bridegroom, and they're saying, don't look at me. I haven't kept my vineyard.
Yeah.
But the entire book of the Song of Psalms is this picture of this person discovering who they are, discovering their garden, learning how to tend their garden, learning how to let the beloved into their garden with them, spend time with him there as a bride and a bridegroom. It's this beautiful analogy of discovery of the garden.
And that inner garden being the place of intimacy with him, one-on-one.
Yeah.
Just like Adam and Eve in the garden, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, the two became one. Same thing, walking together, one, entangled, entwined. You have the mind of Christ because you're one with him.
Yeah.
And that's the place we abide.
Yeah.
It's not, come to me, I'll give you rest and abide here, and then go out and get stressed out and separate from me and then come. It's just stay and remain.
Remain, yeah.
Yeah.
In Song of Solomon 6, verse 1 through 3, where is your beloved gone, O fairest among women? Where has your beloved turned aside, that we may seek him with you? My beloved has gone to his garden, to the beds of spices, to feed his flock in the gardens, and to gather lilies. I am my beloved's, and my beloved is mine. He feeds his flock among the lilies. This is among one of my favorite verses. It talks about the bridegroom, and it also talks about the shepherd feeding his flocks and picking flowers. Now that's a picture of rest, but he's doing it in a garden. He turns aside into the garden, the place of one, the place of union, and that's where he pastures his flocks. So already you see the bride here is starting to realize that he's going to the garden. And she's starting to go there. She knows where he goes now, and she knows how to follow him there, to find him there among the lilies, right?
Yeah. And he says, though the curse of sin surrounds you, you remain as pure as a lily. Like a lily among thorns, this is the actual wording, is my love among the daughters. So this place of no longer toiling and trying and working against these thorns, no longer believing these lies or this separation about ourselves, but living in this reality of who we are and how he sees us.
As we continue on in this progression, Song of Songs 8, verse 13, you who dwell in the gardens, the companions listen for your voice, let me hear it. The one who dwells in the gardens is, of course, Yeshua. And here we have the bride saying, now all my companions want to hear your voice. Now here she is, she's listening to the voice. She's obviously come to the place where she's in one with him, and she looks forward to hearing his voice and spending time in the gardens.
Yeah.
You who dwell in the gardens. He's in us.
Yeah.
We're in him.
Yeah. Which means every solution to every problem we ever will come across, we have the solution within us because he's in us.
Yeah.
He's the voice. He's truth. We just need to hear him.
So, Karitas, we talked last week about how we need to renew our mind to even be able to live in the garden because it's so different from what we're used to. So today I thought we could talk about what would a garden mindset look like.
Ooh, yeah. Good question, Dean.
Yeah.
Already too many sound effects. Can I read a little psalm here for you?
Please.
And make this special?
Okay, so those of you who have not heard Karitas read, you're about to experience something ultra amazing.
It's like a bedtime story.
Okay. After she reads, I feel like oftentimes I've got nothing here, right?
It's time to go to bed. Enough said. All right, Psalm 16, 8-11.
All right.
We're pondering what would a garden mindset look like.
Okay.
I have set the Lord continually before me. Because he is at my right hand, I will not be shaken. Therefore, my heart is glad, and my glory rejoices. My flesh will also dwell securely, for you will not abandon my soul to Sheol. Doesn't sound great.
No, it's not a great place.
You will not allow your Holy One to undergo decay. You will make known to me the way of life. In your presence is fullness of joy. In your right hand, there are pleasures forevermore.
All right.
Wow.
One of my favorite Psalms in the Bible. I actually have that one memorized. Sometimes I say it almost every day.
But can you say it backwards?
No, I don't do backmasking. So there's some pretty amazing things in here. It talks about how secure we are when the face of the Lord is continually before us. In that place, our entire being rejoices and our flesh dwells securely. And then it starts talking about like life and immortality.
Yeah, it starts getting really juicy.
It starts going there. It starts talking about how you will not abandon my soul to the place of death, the realm of death, and you will not allow your Holy One to undergo decay. It's talking about immortality being released in us. So we're not even exposed to the realm of death and how there's no decay in us.
Wow.
That's talking about immortality right there.
Next level.
Next level. And then it says, you make known to me the pathways of life.
So basically, garden mindset, no agreement with death.
That's right.
You're going in there not thinking death, but thinking life.
That's right. Garden mindset is life, and then in your presence, so face to face, because there really is no Hebrew word for presence. It's actually the word face. So garden mindset is fullness of joy, face to face with our Creator. And in your right hand, there are pleasures forevermore. So the actual translation for the name Eden is the place of pleasure and delight.
Yes.
So a garden mindset has to include no agreement with death, no exposure to death, full-on life mindset, because the tree of life, when we eat from it, it causes us to live forever.
Yes.
And fullness of joy in the presence one-on-one with our Creator.
Can it get any better?
And pleasure forevermore at the right hand of God. That is mind-blowing.
This is why, like, to the outside world, you can look like you're in denial or you're crazy when you're okay, regardless of what's happening, because this is actually what's happening,
Yes.
right? You're actually in this place all the time, but the world will always see the exterior things happening, right? The storm beating against the house or whatever's going on. But when you're in this garden all the time with him, and that's the place you abide. That's where your joy is coming from. That's where your security and your peace is. And you're seeing him face to face.
Yeah.
And it's always there. He's always available. You can't live any other way. I would have to try to complain. I just can't complain. And it's very difficult for the world to understand that. But that's okay.
Oh yeah, you're in denial. You're crazy.
Be careful. Don't trust those people that are always okay. People are used to having baggage or hidden skeletons in their closet. But when you're actually living in the garden, you don't have those things.
When you live in the light, there are no skeletons because there's no shadow there.
There's no death. There's no decay. It's life.
Yes.
And immortality.
Everything is done out of rest. I think we need to talk about rest. When God put the man in the garden, the word put him actually means he placed him in rest. When we try to even tend the garden out of our own strength, clip, prune, work it. What's the rest alternative to that? Everything is done in its time, in its place. There's really only one priority, and that priority is knowing him.
Yeah.
And out of knowing him, everything else has to proceed. And if it's time for knowing him, then the pruning might just have to wait. Lay aside the distractions. Only one thing is important here.
Mm-hmm. You know, and Jesus had said that, right? One drink of him, and you'll never thirst again. But we've normalized being thirsty, burnt out, and bothered by people or whatever else is going on in life, because we're drinking from the wrong cup. We're drinking from dry cups, right?
Mm-hmm.
One drink of him. And then you become this overflowing cup. It can't be drained because it's being filled by him.
Mm-hmm.
Once someone's been there, you can't convince them out of it.
So Karitas, we're going to do something that we often do here on Let's Go Up, but anybody joining us from Grace Awakening Network wouldn't know this. This is called Statement Time with Theme.
Ooh, okay. Usually I always want a blanket when I do this.
So we have some statements that I've written down just because I really wanted to get the language bang on.
Okay. And it's very to the point, unlike my usual ramblings.
I just wrote some statements down here. I just want to go through them and then we can sort of discuss them because these are things I feel like are in the garden. They're just so amazing that we just need to talk about a bunch of these.
Yeah.
All right. The garden is a place where there is no agreement with death.
Yeah.
The reason why there is no agreement with death is because Jesus abolished death.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, we died with him. We're already dead.
Yeah. We've already gone through the burial thing and now we've risen.
That's
the
right.
Newness of life.
That's right.
Like we said before, you don't visit that grave with flowers.
New life all around. Okay. The garden is a place where there is an awareness of constant union, not just in the cool of the day union, when it feels good after we've done all of our stuff. We have to stop for him. The garden is the place where we have fulfillment of purpose and there is no agreement with the curse. We've normalized agreeing with the curse in our earthly existence, but Jesus took the curse.
Yeah.
There is no more curse.
He's our new normal.
He is our new normal, exactly.
Jesus didn't live in agreement with the curse.
No, he sure didn't.
And as he is, so are we. So if he's not living in agreement with the curse, neither are we.
That's right.
It's simple. It doesn't have to be overthought or overanalyzed.
It's simple. The garden is a place where we thrive in love and companionship. There was companionship with Adam and Eve being a newlywed couple. There was also the companionship of the Creator there. They were able to talk with creatures and animals and all kinds of interesting things were there.
Yeah.
The garden is a place where we let our heart and mind be in constant wonder and awe. The thing is that I'm in constant awe all the time.
Yeah.
There's no lack of wonder
Yeah.
and amazement at the Creator, because the garden is the launching pad to the cosmos, to the realms. From there, you can go all over creation. You can go into the dimensions. For me, there's just a constant awe and wonder and amazement of all the encounters that you can have just from that one starting place.
Yeah. Let's never limit what God could potentially show us.
Yeah.
Just expectant wonder that He's the limitless God and He has limitless possibilities. There's so much more that I want to reveal to you.
And there's another verse that says, it hasn't even been seen what we will become. When we see Him, we will be like Him because we will see Him as He is. But there's no reason why we can't see Him now. And so part of this garden experience is opening the eyes of our heart to see Him and behold Him. And so another statement would be, the garden is a place where we are in constant connection to the environment of heaven, and we have constant awareness of glory.
Yeah, that's huge. What is your body and your mind more in tune with?
Yes.
This realm, His reality, their reality, the person beside you's reality, right? What are we in tune with? What are we in sync with?
We're already there. We've already been seated in heavenly places. We've been invited up. We lived from there to the earth.
Yeah.
We didn't really talk about this last week, but there is a time and a place in the garden for knowledge. In heaven right now, in front of the throne, there are 7 spirits, and one of them is the spirit of knowledge. That spirit has infused knowledge that we can be embedded with. And it is my personal belief, this is theory time with Dean.
Theory time with Dean. We love it just as much as statement time with Dean.
Usually Karitas gives me about 2 or 3 theories before she cuts me off.
Just gets wild and out of control.
That's right. It was my personal theory that God would have eventually said, okay, let's go have a walk. And He would have taken them to that tree. And in the context of union, glory, wisdom, understanding, knowledge would have been added to them in a way that it would have been healthy, sustainable, and in a way that would have actually brought life to them rather than the death that it brought to them.
Yeah.
He wasn't planning on withholding anything from them. If it is true that as He is, so are we in this world, then eventually He would have brought that to us in a healthy and safe way.
Yeah. Well, that reminds me, check this out. The Spirit searches all things. Yes, the deep things of God. For what man knows the thoughts of a man except the spirit of the man which is in him? Even so, no one knows the things of God except the Spirit of God. Now we have received not the spirit of the world, but the Spirit who is from God, that we might know the things that have been freely given to us by God.
He knows the things that God knows. God would have revealed knowledge to us in a way that would have brought life to us and benefited us in a healthy way. There is such an amazing thing that I've discovered, this place of infused knowledge. Knowledge was never meant to be a quest. It was meant to be revealed in a context of union. And in a context of union, it's safe. There's no pride attached to it. It's pure and it's true. You don't have this truth and everybody has their own truth. There's only one true. Jesus is the way, He's the truth, and He's the life. So Karitas, if we go back to our original thought of how do we tend our garden, because we are talking about gardening here, and there is the aspect of getting our hands in the dirt and working with those seeds and pruning things. And I think a big part of tending our garden is that everything has to be done out of rest, because God put them in a place of rest to tend the garden. So the resting environment, even of the work that they were doing, is significant.
Yeah. So if you ever find yourself in this position where you're kind of stressing, am I doing enough for God? Am I being, you got to go to the garden. You got to go rest.
Yeah.
There's no angst there. There's no fear of disappointing our Father there.
I would say that's Kingdom Gardening 101.
Yeah.
I think if we have a garden mindset and if we're working in the garden, we need to not respond to lack in any way. I see that so clearly in the life of Jesus. He never responded to lack. I've been asking Holy Spirit to give me wisdom and to show me the template of how we can live life without responding to lack.
Wow.
There was no lack in the garden. Everything was there that they needed when they needed it. Even the wealth, the gold, like they knew where to go for everything. It was all laid out for them. And when you look at the life of Jesus, that's the way he lived. He just lived without an awareness of lack.
He didn't give it any attention. He didn't honor it.
Exactly. I think also tending the garden with a constant awareness of the presence of God. I heard somebody say the other day that separation is an illusion. When we feel separated from the presence, it's an illusion.
Yeah, you're not actually separated.
No, you're not. The truth is, he's in us. We're in him. We are one with him. There is no separation. All the accuser has is his deception, and he will try to deceive us into thinking that we're separated. And the thing is sometimes we will run away because of that. We just need to come back. He's right there.
Yeah.
He's face to face. He hasn't gone anywhere. His face is turned towards us. He is not frowning at you. He is not a stern-faced God. He is beaming with joy over you right now.
Yeah.
Every person watching, there's no disappointment in his eyes. He's not looking at you with any kind of condescending thoughts. His thoughts over you are as many as the sands in the seashore. They are all wonderful thoughts. He thinks highly of you. He values you. Separation is an illusion. It's simply not true.
Yeah. And he would say, who told you that? Oh, we're hiding because we're naked. He didn't tell them that.
Yeah.
So anything that he's not saying, you can just toss.
There you go.
Who told you you're separated? Toss it.
Karitas, we're actually out of time today.
We always do this.
I know. Just as kind of a final thing here, we tend to our garden by surrendering to unmatched beauty as the foundation of our existence.
Wow.
Unmatched beauty, unmatched favor, unmatched grace. It's the foundation of where we were originally meant to live. So we have one scripture we're just going to read here, leave you with for the week.
Isaiah 51:3. Indeed, the Lord will comfort Zion. He will comfort all of her ruins, and he will make her wilderness like Eden, and her desert like the garden of the Lord. Joy and gladness will be found in her, thanksgiving and the sound of a melody.
So thanks for joining us today. We hope you've enjoyed this conversation as much as we have, and we will see you in a week's time. And in the meantime, spend as much time in your garden as you possibly can, face to face with your Creator. Have an awesome week. Bye.